we should get into these current events that are going on. It's not much to talk about.
Just knock these out 1, 2, 3.
Yes. The Celtics extended Jrue Holiday 4 years, $135 million. We were just talking about this.
Good old
The
Celtics cap space,
situation.
Right now, it's
Shout to Wick.
Joel, I feel like anything that happens with Celtics contracts, I'm not going to doubt you. And if you still think
He was
that
wrong about the money.
Yeah,
By
but I wasn't
what?
wrong about re-signing us.
by what,
Re-signing
$5
him.
million?
No,
I
like
said
10.
I said 25 to 30.
He was
think.
leaning on 25.
I was probably leaning 25.
He was
but
leaning heavy
Jrue
on
deserved
25.
the money.
All right, regardless.
I mean, listen,
he got 34.
You can't pay everybody, though.
We could pay Derek.
That's fine, though. And that's exactly what I'm saying. If you still can give him that
You know
money,
we could pay Derek.
Porzingis,
If it's between KP and Derek.
Porzingis took a pay cut. I don't think people understand that.
Well, they're not free agent at the same
But
time.
It's a
Tatum's gonna be due, too.
1 year extension, though.
Tatum's getting 60.
oh, no.
Yeah, he's
scary.
He's getting Supermax.
Scary money.
So Tatum's going to get 60. That means Drew's money going to kick in. Then you got to pay White. Somebody's going to kick it. God bless.
Realistically,
Paying
you
everybody.
need the 5.
You
You need those 5. You
Listen,
make the role players work.
And the reason that I think it's not terrible as of right now, like realistically, there's probably like a 2-year window because you have Payne Pritchard under contract. You traded for Xavier Tillman. You could get him back on bird rights. Luke Cornett, I think, has been a pretty decent backup center for us as well. I think they have enough depth, and that's with Payne Pritchard on a couple of years left. Sam Hauser, who's been one of the better 3-point shooters, has a year left. They have enough depth to be able to overcome it for the next couple of years. But yes, once you get into 3 years into the future and everyone's paid, including Derek, including the Tatum Supermax, Payne Pritchard's contract is up, that's when you're going to be like, all right, we need to fill this bench out with minimum guys. Or by then, hopefully Jordan Walsh. Second round picks. We got some picks. Jordan Walsh. I think Jane Springer might have a couple years on his deal as well. But again, like when you have a team this good, I can't sit here and be like, shit, bro, in 2025 or 2026, we might have to sign guys on the minimum. Like, the team is way too good. You have to invest now. And if you don't re-sign Jrue Holiday, at this moment, he likely declines his player option. He hits free agency. Who knows if he ends up leaving because he's liked his time in Boston. But there's going to be a dozen suitors for Jrue Holiday if he hit the free agent market because, number one, he's a great player. And number two, the free agency class isn't that great this offseason. So I think it was a great move for the Celtics. It is a little bit more expensive than I was expecting, but you got to keep this 5 intact. You keep this 5 intact, you're going to be competing for a championship.
That's it. We've seen what this 5 can accomplish. We're talking about the best team in basketball and wins-wise, and it's not even close, especially in the Eastern Conference, where the next closest team, I want to say, is, 15 games away? I mean, what the Boston Celtics have been able to accomplish this season, if you wanted to give Jrue $5 more million than you were anticipating, but you still are able to bring back Derek White, all you essentially need is Tatum, White, Jrue, JB, Kristaps Porzingis, and then you have 2-3 role players, essentially, because that's NBA playoff basketball. You run that 7-8 man rotation, and that's what you're essentially going throughout the playoffs. We've seen that this core can obviously still make deep playoff runs at ECF, even without Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. We've seen this team make the finals. You invest this money into these guys because obviously they've just shown you that they can be the most dominant team in basketball, both offensively and defensively. This makes perfect sense to me. Jrue Holiday at the age of 33, giving him $34 million. Maybe that's a little bit, maybe that's a decent price tag, but at the same time, this season, he's done exactly what you would want out of a role player, a glorified role player, the way that we described Jrue Holiday. Knocks down the three-point shot as good as any player in the NBA right now. Is probably the best corner three-point shooter right now in the NBA outside of the obvious. And then on top of it, his defense is still elite. What more can you ask for him? Especially at the age of 33. You spoke about it a little bit. That game ages well in today's NBA. You play high-level defense and you knock down a three-point shot, you'll have a job for a very, very long time. This contract, although the number is a little bit high, the Boston Celtics just need to retain those 5 guys, and they're going to be okay.
Oh, okay. So I guess you want me to go. Yeah, the number was a little high, but like Dels has mentioned, you keep the 5 together. Jrue will be 34 this summer, so he'll be, hitting the 35, 36, 37 mark. But I don't think his game really would age too much with his because he doesn't rely too much on athleticism. He's very savvy in his ways. He's a good shooter. And I think the only way this is going to be a problem is if you guys don't win. I think that's when it becomes a situation where if you don't win, 1 ring or 2 rings in the next 3 to 4 years, then you start looking at these contracts like, damn, yeah, we paid these guys, but is it enough to win the championship? Because if we don't win, so I think that's the only time the problem will be, present. But as of right now, you have to retain this. You guys just had the best regular season since Larry Bird, if I'm not mistaken, even probably better than that. 60 wins is definitely impressive. We haven't seen it since KD and Steph Warriors. So this is an impressive season. Jrue Holiday's having a career year in both corner spots while still being an All-NBA defensive player. And you have Porzingis, you have Derek White. So you want to remain and keep this starting five because it's been the best starting five in the league this year. It's just about down the road. If they don't win, then the contracts start looking funny. But right now, it's a good deal.
They got a 2-year window. It's this season and next season, and then things start to get really rough because in 25-26, Jaylen Brown is getting $53 million. Porzingis is getting $30 million. Pritchard is getting $7 million. Walsh is getting $2 million, and they just signed Jrue Holiday. That's about like $34 million. So we're at $126 million, and Tatum either accepts his player option for $37 million or he signs an extension.
Yeah,
if he gets that supermax, and let's just say it's $70 million, per year. That's how contracts for star players are nowadays. That puts them at $196 million without even bringing in Derek White into the equation. So
35, 40.
Yes, in 2 years, that's when it's going to get really rough for the Celtics. But as of right now, I mean, what are you going to do? Not re-sign Jrue Holiday? Not re-sign these guys? You worry about that in the future, but that's why I'm interested to see it's going to be one of those guys, Derek White or Kristaps Porzingis, that they might choose to prioritize so they don't run into a huge problem 2 years down the line in trying to pay Tatum and Brown supermax contracts while also filling out the roster.
You think Tatum will be a wee guy and accept his player option? No way in hell?
Nah, he should decline to take his
$37 million.
37
million
million,
money.
but you can,
Compared to $70 million?
Of course.
My brother's getting 70.
unless you could just.
But you give yourself one more year. One
it's
more
a player option.
Yeah, I think so.
You will decline, brother. Don't even think
No,
about
he's
it.
declined. He's declined.
That would be real quick.
What is going to be Jason Tatum's supermax?
It's gonna be
70 sounds right.
North of 60.
65.
Yeah.
It said
It's going to be a big amount. Yeah.
Jaylen Brown.
He's going to make an
was-
All-NBA team
Let's
again
see.
this year.
Can we find that?
Jaylen Brown was $60 million a year.
You're
The
lying.
contract's
5-year,
probably out already, like the
$304
framework.
million.
Eyes historic $338 million extension in 2024.
Because I did see something like Luka would be eligible for like 70 a year or some shit.
Well, Luka and Tatum are going to break the banks again.
Let's do some quick math.
They're saying Tatum's would be like $67 million. 5 years, $34 million. If Luka and Embiid's is 5 year, $376, then Tatum could be 5 years, $350 though. I definitely think he's going to
28
make
mil less.
or 18, about like 10 to 20 mil less.
Why would it be that much less?
than Luka?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're better.
No, I get that they could be better, but financially,
Yeah,
it
I don't
really
think
doesn't.
that's how that
It doesn't
works.
change that
Yeah, no,
drastically.
I agree. So if on this website I'm looking at,
I think it might be there. Low-key might be a different stipulation if
I see
if
what
you
you
like
did.
win MVP.
It was a jab. It's fine.
just a little
It was a
jab.
good
Nah,
jab.
it wasn't a jab.
I do think there's a different criteria. Like if you win MVP or you're like within the top something.
No,
MVP,
it's either
you can get
MVP
extra.
and or All NBA.
Oh, it's and or okay.
Tatum has made All NBA.
Yeah.
He hasn't made the first team like Luka though.
No,
but he made it
has.
last year.
Tatum
Is there a
has been the
different?
first team
Is there a different contractual value for being first
multiple
team
times. Well,
and second?
Well, he
and third
has
team?
been first team. Tatum has been first team.
If
He
that's
might
true,
not be it this
but
year. It
No, he made it
depends.
last year. But if that's the case, then him and
Maybe
Jaylen
the
Brown
last
should
2
be
years,
far
am I
ahead of
tweaking?
each other because Brown has only made like 13.
Because Jaylen Brown, his was $304 million over 5 years.
He made second team.
On this website that I'm looking at, it says
Jaylen Brown's the highest
according.
paid player in NBA right now.
That's
This
what
is
second
Sporting News.
I think outside of annually, I think now it's Giannis after his extension.
According to a list of players outlined by NBC Sports' Kurt Helin, Giannis, you're eligible 2024, 5 years, $334 million. Tatum, 5 years, $334 million. In 2025, I think it gets a 15% increase. So Luka's and Embiid's would be 5 years, $367 million.
Got it.
So it's because they're getting in
The
their
TV
contracts
deal.
a year
Uh-huh.
after.
Got it.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
last year he made All NBA first team. Tatum.
So yeah, no, it's not about the first thing. It's just about the year you're getting it. Tatum is going to get it 2024. Luke is going to get it 2025. Each year there's an increase.
So now is there a stipulation or a little bit more?
Oh, actually, Tatum is back to back All NBA first.
That's what I said.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, the year they made the finals, he was first team, and then
What
this
was the
past season.
on Spotrac? This has from last off season. They're expecting 5 years, $308 million.
308 from Tatum.
Yeah, but this was.
I was gonna say I
this
just
also
saw
is
Basketball
a
News
year old.
338.
Well, point is that
Regardless, it's a lot of money.
Tatum's going to get paid a lot, and they're paying Jaylen Brown, and you're paying Kristaps Porzingis $30 million, and you have to see what the long-term
Brand
future with
those
him is
checks.
going to be. Jrue Holiday now getting paid $34 million for the next 4 years.
It's going to be an insane tax bill on the owner. I think more than anything, that's what it is. Like if the owner is willing to pay, and he said it this past offseason, I think it was after we signed Jaylen Brown to that contract. He said, if we're competing for championships, like Brad can do whatever he wants money-wise, like he has my blessing. So as long as he's willing to pay that bill, of course, you're going to have the actual like NBA physical restrictions, like you can't trade picks 7 years out, vet minimum guys, no MLE, stuff like that. But again, keep these 5 guys together. It's really, excuse me, it's really just a tax bill to be the number one issue with the Celtics.